Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge.
I'm Andrew Hans. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, the Peter White Public Library held a free naloxone training session this evening.
Plus, a major legal showdown is brewing at the Michigan Capitol. The Attorney General says Republicans violated the state constitution by blocking hundreds of millions of dollars in funding.
And the Trump administration continues its discussions on acquiring Greenland. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
First look at your forecast as you start to think about the weekend, but let's take a look at today. 10 degrees above average. The January quote-unquote thaw will continue. I say quote because we're still around that freezing mark, but even warmer for tomorrow, upper 30s. We may even see a 40 somewhere across the Upper Peninsula with some sunshine, and we're dry throughout most of the day. But then Thursday night into Friday, we have a wintry mix system pushing through the Upper Peninsula. Could give us some issues with freezing rain, a glazing of ice, and might impact your Friday morning. So all those details on your weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Kelly. As mentioned on Insights last night, a free educational event on naloxone training took place this evening at the Peter White Public Library. We spoke with moderators about how important it can be to carry the right knowledge and resources. Up until recently, naloxone, more commonly known as Narcan, was only available to emergency service members. Now with public access, local collaborations like the Marquette County Health Department and Superior Connections Recovery have been making an effort to teach the public about the life-saving medication.
We've done a lot of trainings with local organizations and local businesses and groups that ask us to come and do trainings. This is the first time that we're holding a purely community naloxone training, though.
As it's widely known, naloxone works as a rapid reverse to an opioid overdose, benign to everything else. Fred Gross is a retired physician at the Addiction Medicine Department of the Upper Great Lakes Clinic. He mentioned since its over-the-counter approval by the FDA in 2023, drug fatalities have dramatically decreased.
In the last 2 to 3 years in the country, there's been a significant decrease in overdose deaths. It can just literally pull someone out of a coma from an opiate overdose, and then all of a sudden they wake up and start breathing. So it's very effective.
This evening, after a lesson covering its significance, the signs of an overdose, and how to administer the drug, each attendee was given their own emergency naloxone kit. If you're looking for your own, Naloxy boxies can be currently found at NMU's Wellbeing Center, with 2 more planned to be placed around the Marquette community.
A lot of people will say, oh, I don't know anybody that does drugs, but they probably do, and you never know when you're going to get the opportunity to save a life. So it would be amazing if everybody had one in their purse, on their body, and then they have that opportunity to take action.
If you ever come across someone experiencing an overdose and you have naloxone, the health department recommends to follow the overdose response ABCs. This includes A, administer the naloxone, B, begin rescue breathing every 5 seconds for around 3 minutes, and C, call for help.
Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel has issued a formal opinion saying a section of state law used by House Republicans to block nearly $650 million in funding is unconstitutional. The opinion follows a December vote by the House Appropriations Committee to cancel work projects tied to funding already approved in past state budgets. Republican leaders say the committee acted within its authority and are now preparing a legal challenge, setting up a court fight over budget power at the Capitol.
Our state constitution is the utmost authority on where the powers of each branch of government begin and where they end, and how they are to be executed. This section of law violated those constitutional constraints.
There's more from House Republican leaders and the Attorney General on our website, WZMQ19.com.
Days after the operation in Venezuela that resulted in the capture of President Nicolas Maduro, the White House said Tuesday that the president is discussing a range of options to acquire Greenland. President Trump has long eyed the more than 800 square mile island that holds a strategic advantage between the U.S., Europe, and Russia. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Brendan Scanlon has more details tonight.
Hopes of someday acquiring Greenland are nothing new for President Donald Trump. But after Saturday's successful covert military operation in Venezuela, the president has put other nations and some lawmakers on edge.
I am totally dissatisfied about their answers of going into other countries, totally dissatisfied of what they might be doing in Greenland, as well as in Colombia, Mexico, and other countries.
Democrats are concerned that the administration will take similar action in Greenland, Colombia, and Cuba. The president has reiterated that acquiring Greenland is a national security priority for the U.S., as China and Russia have recently turned to the Arctic for its resources. Greenland, a self-governing territory of NATO ally Denmark, is ripe with natural resources, including oil, gas, and rare earth minerals. We asked congressional Republicans if they believe Congress needs to get involved if the administration tries to take additional action in Greenland or in other nations like Cuba and Colombia.
There's great assets in Greenland, and the question is, so why are Russia and China so concerned with those areas? I'm glad we have somebody sitting in the White House today who's truly looking about what's best for America. And if you want to make America great again, you better be strong again across the globe.
Ramifications that it will have in Cuba, that it's having elsewhere, Colombia. I mean, they should be concerned that they can't be a hub for investment from our adversaries and a processor and producer of drugs.
The executive branch it's its role to keep our citizens safe and secure, whether it's here or internationally.
Reporting in Washington, Brendan Scanlon, WZMQ 19 News.
This year's flu outbreak is reaching new heights. The CDC says doctors' visits for the flu have hit their highest level in almost 3 decades, and there have been at least 11 million cases so far, with 45 states reporting high or very high flu activity. Skylar Henry speaks with a family still feeling the impact weeks after getting sick.
This flu, it took everybody out.
For the Hawes family, Christmas in Atlanta was spent in bed and on the couch, flu spreading through the house.
How'd the kids do?
The kids, they were hit the worst. My oldest, my 12-year-old, he was looking like he was turning the corner. Day 8, we ended up at Children's because his breathing was restricted. And so he had to go get a breathing treatment, steroids.
The CDC says since October 1st, there have been at least 120,000 hospitalizations from the flu and at least 5,000 deaths, including at least 9 children.
It has been hitting hard with many people getting sick.
Atlanta pediatrician Dr. Jennifer Shue says parents should monitor their child's breathing when determining whether to take them to the emergency room.
You know, they're not as alert as usual. They might be a little bit dehydrated. They might be weaker, or they might have a hard time breathing. So lips could turn blue. They could be panting, heaving. You can look at the muscles in the neck or in between the ribs. Sometimes they'll tug in and out.
Dr. Shue says getting the flu shot remains the best protection from severe illness.
There's going to be people out there that watch this and they say, we don't ever get the flu shot. We don't need the flu shot. What would y'all say?
Get the flu shot.
Today.
Like, we're taking our kids, even though they've had the flu, we just want to make sure that they're completely covered.
The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends all children 6 months and older get the flu vaccine.
When fraudsters come calling, does your family have an action plan? Jill Schlesinger offers a short checklist for keeping financial information in order and scammers at bay.
Over the past 5 years, losses from imposter scams targeting Americans 60 and older have skyrocketed. Instead of relying solely on expensive monitoring services, the single most effective defense against financial fraud is open, ongoing conversation within families, helping spot red flags before real damage is done. To get started, there are 3 critical questions every family should be able to answer. 1. Do you know all your family members' account numbers and how to access them? 2. Do you understand what property and investments your loved ones own and who the beneficiaries are? And 3. Do you know where all household income is deposited? The next step is monitoring. You don't have to be a joint account owner. You just need to be listed as a trusted contact. This will allow the financial firm to alert you if they notice suspicious activity. As an added precaution, you can also ask to receive copies of statements. Finally, if you're concerned about identity theft, a credit freeze is your strongest tool. It restricts access to a credit file, making it harder for identity thieves to open new accounts in your loved one's name. You'll need to enact the freeze at all 3 major credit bureaus, online or by phone. Just remember, with a freeze in place, no new credit can be opened. So if your loved one is applying for a loan, you'll need to temporarily lift the freeze, then put it in place again once the process is complete.
Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, it's been 1 year since wildfires devastated parts of California. We'll see how the recovery is going when we come back.
Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
And welcome back. We've been getting a nice break from rain, from snow, and of course those warmer temperatures that we've been very thankful for. Warmer, still around freezing, but it's 10 degrees above average, at least for today. And the break continues. Not much precipitation for the Marquette, Escanaba, or Houghton area for the majority of the day tomorrow, but then we quickly see that spike up to widely scattered and scattered. Thursday night into Friday is our next system that moves through. So we won't see too much activity. Things will be very calm for most of the day tomorrow. So if you need to get anything done outside during the day, I suggest trying to do that before dinner time, because this system quickly moves up from the south. We'll have some wind gusts associated with it. It'll be a fairly fast moving system, and this is a low pressure that is going to rotate right over top of the Upper Peninsula. So on the east side of it, you get the winds from the south, and of course some warmer temperatures will support rain, but then on the other side of it from the west, that's when the winds start to become from the north, colder temperatures and some snow. So there's a very cool divide line happening here. It's very cool visually, but this is when we could get those dangerous areas of freezing rain and ice, and especially when we get that rain, we have colder temperatures chasing it immediately after it. So even if there is rain, it's likely going to freeze and turn into ice, or just freeze in general pretty quickly. But the main threat for that potential ice associated with that freezing rain would be really to the western half of the UP. You just have to watch out. It depends exactly where the system wants to rotate. The temperatures wavering around 34, 35, slightly above freezing. That can sometimes be dangerous with that wet snow or the freezing rain or the sleet. So out to the western half, you have to be careful. We could get that glazing of ice, and that is particularly difficult to drive in that freezing rain because it refreezes as rain on contact with the surface. So your sidewalks, your roadways, anything that you need to walk or drive on could be at risk for very very slippery and slick and icy. Sleet, on the other hand, snow melts, but it refreezes just before it reaches the surface. No melting happens for snow. We could be seeing a little bit of everything in terms of those winter precipitation types for Thursday going into Friday. And you can see the shift here. The winds are from the south, and then that system rolls on through, and then we're going to be seeing colder temperatures come back into play with those winds from the north. So just a quick weekend outlook here. This is when the temperatures start to go back down. We're still above average, but then throughout the weekend, snow comes back on Saturday for most of the Upper Peninsula, and then on Sunday, that's when we start to see some things calm down, some lingering snow, very possible for Marquette and the Newberry area perhaps, but most of us should start to settle things back down for Sunday. So that's the main threat, I would say, weather impact-wise. Thursday night into Friday, could see some of that ice. It'll still be windy, but at least comfortable for Friday, and we know it gets colder for the weekend. Some more snow showers back into play likely on the week for most of next week.
Kelly, thank you again. We're looking back at the wildfires in Los Angeles that started 1 year ago today. At least 31 people were killed and thousands of homes and businesses destroyed. Most still have not yet been rebuilt. Jonathan Vigliotti covered the fires from start to finish, and now he's tracking the recovery.
I remember the family room.
For generations, this plot of land on East Las Flores Drive in Altadena is where the Ben family gathered to celebrate life's most memorable events. 86-year-old Marie Ben is the family's matriarch.
I have not cried.
Why?
I guess it's because we lost everything, but we didn't lose each other.
The Eaton fire robbed this family of musicians of their homes, their church, even their instruments, but not their spirit.
There is so much loss here everywhere we look, but
So
there's
much.
so much joy on this property.
Every time we have the opportunity to really sink into the sadness and into the loss, it's met by all of these really beautiful things.
We first met Marie's granddaughter Lauren and Lauren's father Oscar last January as 3 generations crammed into an Airbnb.
All my stuff is gone.
What has that year been like?
Trying to move in some direction forward, to be able to go back to work, to put the kids in school and create another routine of life in an entirely different place.
And this is a family, 6 generations
Oh, yeah.
in Altadena.
Yeah.
6 generations,
They-
not one family staying in Altadena is in their home.
Hundreds of their Altadena relatives live in temporary housing, but are committed to returning instead of selling the land. Music has always been the family's saving grace, a source of healing. On Monday, they were rehearsing for a community candlelight vigil to mark 1 year of so much change.
When you lose everything, it's very clear what you do have. And for us, that was really just our voices. And it was the most soothing thing.
And construction has begun on about 500 of the more than 16,000 structures lost. Only a handful of homes have been fully rebuilt.
A new study finds potential health concerns with the tap water on airlines. Results published by a nonprofit health researcher in New York rank the water quality aboard major airlines as planes. Chris Van Cleve has a closer look at the data.
This review focused on what amounts to tap water, the water stored in onboard tanks on board an airliner, not bottles of water. And this review looked at 3 years' worth of government samples that were taken looking at contamination levels and other factors to come up with what they called a water safety score. Think of it as a bit of a report card. Now, according to the Center for Food as Medicine and Longevity, of the 10 major airlines tested, Delta scored the best with a 5 out of 5. That's an A rating. The bottom 2 carriers, JetBlue and American, both earned less than 2 points, a D rating. In a statement, JetBlue said it performs routine sampling and cleaning procedures to make sure its water is safe and reliable. American said a recent Environmental Protection Agency audit found, quote, no significant findings with our programs. We should note that all of the airlines we talked to said they meet or exceed EPA standards, and several questioned the methodology of this report. Still, for concerned flyers, the report recommends avoiding drinking the tap water, and that would also mean avoiding, if possible, hot coffee or tea served on board.
Still to come on your 19 News, we'll tell you more about the new vintage toy and record shop opening in Gladstone. We're back in 2 minutes.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local.
Welcome back, everyone. A new business has opened its doors in Gladstone, dealing in collectibles, vintage finds, and nostalgia. Our Escanaba Bureau reporter Lily Simmons gives us a look inside.
I grew up in the 80s and I loved things like G.I. Joe, He-Man, Ninja Turtles, Star Wars, Nintendo. Life got busy. We found out that we were going to start a family of our own. It's like, I want to get some of those things I always wanted as a kid but couldn't have or couldn't afford to share with my boys.
David Lohr, better known to many as Man Cave Dave, has been buying, selling, and adding to his collection for more than a decade. He took his passion on the road, vending at toy shows in northern Michigan, Wisconsin, and even launching Bay College's BayCon in 2022.
We started joking about, we should maybe get a store. Oh, well, that'd be crazy. We can't do that.
Man Cave Dave is now a storefront on Delta Avenue in Gladstone, filled to the brim with vintage gems.
I collect the finer things in life, so action figures, both new and vintage, vinyl records, signed posters, horror memorabilia, cassette tapes, CDs, a little bit of everything.
Helping customers find something from their past is rewarding for Lohr, and an experience he compares to going through a time machine.
I had somebody find a record this weekend. They used to listen to it with their mom every Saturday, and just the joy on his face as he found that was something that was really cool to see.
In the shop's first weeks of operation, he says the community has enthusiastically embraced its newest edition.
That support from our neighbors has been fantastic. We're all uplifting each other and building that camaraderie. The folks that come in, the look on their face when they walk in and like, whoa, it's so cool to see.
And for Man Cave Dave, it's about more than the items on the shelves. He wants to provide joy, memories, and connection.
With everything going on in the world, it's really cool to be able to come together over something, a shared experience, whether it's music, a toy, a TV show, whatever it is. It's an incredible thing to be part of helping bring people together when it seems like so many things are trying to tear us apart.
Reporting in Gladstone, Lily Simmons, WZMQ 19 News.
Travel Marquette hosted its inaugural event earlier tonight at the Ordock Brewing Company. The night served as a celebration to recognize local organizations in the area who've received support from the Travel Marquette's community sponsorship program. The night also served as a preview for upcoming events taking place in Marquette County for 2026. Travel Marquette's CEO expressed her appreciation and gratitude for the community and its support at each event.
Well, we certainly appreciate the events, the volunteers, the amount of volunteers that it takes to put on all of these different events that we have. We're not just a summer destination, we're a four-season destination.
Essler also says that all of the funds raised for sponsoring these events comes from the local hotel assessments that visitors of Marquette pay.
UPaws is hosting a night of comedy at the Up North Lodge in Gwynn Friday night. Our own John Truitt has the details on Raise the Wolf.
If stand-up comedy and raising money to help homeless pets sounds good, then UPaws has the perfect evening. It's called Raise the Wolf, a comedy tour that travels the area raising money for local animal shelters.
Brought to you by an actual company called Raise the Wolf that brings up comedians from downstate, and they come here on Friday night and then they go up to the Copper Country on Saturday night.
This year's Raise the Wolf event is an important fundraiser for UPaws because they are currently housing a higher than average number of pets. Many of these animals are on special hold and are being housed at UPaws after being brought in by local law enforcement.
It's been a tough 2025 with neglect cases and different situations where we have to hold animals.
All the proceeds from the comedy show will go directly to the operation of the UP's largest no-kill shelter.
So this is the first time we're bringing the show to Gwynn. It's been in Ishpeming in the past, and we hope to bring it to other communities in Marquette County as well.
Aside from raising money, the tour hopes to raise awareness about animal adoption and what to do with an unwanted pet.
And we couldn't do this without, obviously, the community. And we're very grateful that we are able to help and get the help that we need to do this.
Tickets are available online at upaws.org. In Sands Township, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
The red carpets are being rolled out as the award season continues. Actors are weighing in on the star-studded week. Gwen Baumgartner has tonight's entertainment headlines.
Award season is in full swing as this marks one of the busiest weeks in entertainment. On Sunday, one battle after another, and Sinners stole the stage at the Critics' Choice Awards.
The women in my family see things.
Jessie Buckley stars in Hamnet. Despite her win for Best Actress, she said this when asked if she paid attention to awards buzz.
We're just doing what we're doing. It's been so nice to talk about it and share. It's been so nice to share the film, you know. You make these things for audiences.
Today, SAG Award nominations go out, also recognizing excellence in film and television. Last year, Shogun went away with 4 wins. And tomorrow night, Helen Mirren will be recognized with the Cecil B. DeMille Award and Sarah Jessica Parker with the Carol Burnett Award at a pre-Golden Globe special titled Golden Eve. Appearances by acting legends Harrison Ford, Viola Davis, and Carol Burnett were just announced. Golden Eve airs Thursday, while the Golden Globes air this Sunday and will be hosted by comedian Nikki Glazer. Both are available to watch on CBS and Paramount+. This series might be over, but Stranger Things is headed for mailboxes around the world. These are some of the newly released stamps available through Royal Mail, the British Postal Service. In total, 14 themed stamps are being added to circulation.
Now stay tuned. Final look at weather after this.
final check of your forecast. Again, we are very thankful to be seeing some upper 30s for a beginning of January forecast. That is what we're expecting for tomorrow. Things continue to be warm before they get cold, and most of the day tomorrow will be dry as we get close to 40 degrees, but then we'll quickly see a system move through, could give us a glazing of ice, very possible to the western half of the UP. There's going to be a wintry mix moving through. It's not necessarily going to impact Thursday night all too much. Most of it does stay overnight, but your Friday morning could be very slick, icy, and just a slow go all around. So prepare for that, and we continue to look at the temperature trend. Next 6 to 10 days, things start to even back out to fairly average, so we're thankful for the warmer temperatures. It is short-lived. We're back down to the 30s and the 20s, but above that, 20s is still fairly mild. Our average high is 22, so we're at least staying above that for the most part, but then if we look all the way to this time next week, we could be back down to 22 degrees with some more snow showers and flurries.
Oh boy, Kelly, thank you again. Finally tonight, a World War II veteran in Castroville, Texas celebrated his 101st birthday by returning to the skies in the same type of aircraft he flew over 80 years ago. This footage was captured by Dream Flights, who said that the aviator B.L. Craighead Jr. celebrated his milestone birthday by soaring 1,000 feet in the air in a restored World War II era biplane. The aircraft, a 1940 Stearman biplane, was used to train military aviators during World War II, Dream Flights said. Dream Flights is a nonprofit organization which provides senior veterans the chance to ride in an open-air flight in the cockpit of a World War II era biplane.
And that's all we have for tonight. We'll see you back here at 6/5 Central tomorrow.